My boyfriend, Nick, has finally returned after a decade-long battle in the South. I'm overjoyed when he tells me he'll marry me and make me his Luna. At that moment, I feel like I've finally found my home. But after getting pregnant, I accidentally come across a treasure trove of videos of him and my best friend, Sherry, in bed together. His journal also details his love for her. I log in to his extra WhatsApp account. Sherry has already blocked his number, but he still sends her messages of love, confession videos, words, and voice messages. I head to the hospital for a prenatal checkup. That's where I see my alpha, Nick, getting on one knee before Sherry with a bouquet in one hand and his family heirloom, a moonstone necklace, in the other. He proposes to her. I gave up on my dream to conquer the southern Pax to return and see you, Sherry. I only have one goal, to marry you. Our child can't be without a father, and I'll mark you once you say yes. I'll make you my Luna, he says. I turn away and make an appointment for an abortion. Then, I leave. Unexpectedly, he abandons Sherry and their child to come after me like a madman. After 10 years of war in the Southern Territory, my boyfriend Nick finally returned. When he said he wanted to marry me, my heart raced with excitement. At that moment, I thought I had finally found my place in the world. However, after becoming pregnant, I accidentally discovered a full terabyte of intimate videos featuring him and my best friend, Sherry, on his computer, along with his journal filled with declarations of love for her. Then, I checked his secondary WhatsApp account. Although Sherry had already blocked him, he still sent her love messages, confession videos, and voice recordings. I completely lost it and confronted him, which led to a huge argument. After that, I left home, hoping to make him understand my anger and devastation. When I went to the hospital for a prenatal checkup, I saw Nick down on one knee in the hospital lobby, holding roses. For a moment, I thought he was begging for my forgiveness. In that instant, a spark of happiness flickered in my heart. If Nick had indeed ended things with Sherry, I was truly willing to forgive him since I was also carrying his child. After all, those intimate videos and messages were in the past. I could not let old wounds ruin our future, especially now that Nick was standing there with flowers and a gift box, looking at me with such determination. This was the proposal I had dreamed of for 10 years. He said, "Marry me, be my Luna, and let me be the father of our child." I smiled and took a step forward, already imagining our reconciliation. I even planned the perfect candlelit dinner at Moonlight Restaurant to celebrate. However, his next words stopped me in my tracks. "Will you, Sherry?" I found myself lost in the crowd of onlookers while Sherry stood at the center, one hand on her belly as she reached out to take his flowers. Her face was glowing with happiness. I stood frozen, suffocating in my own humiliation. Just seconds ago, I had been stupid enough to believe he was proposing to me. Nick stood up, gently embracing Sherry from behind. Then, he tenderly brushed aside her long hair to place his family's heirloom moonstone necklace around her neck. Sherry turned her head to kiss him, and they kissed so passionately that the sounds were audible to everyone nearby. The crowd applauded, some even wiping away tears. I felt a sharp pain in my belly, and I nearly collapsed. However, I managed to find the obstetrician, schedule an abortion appointment, and leave. This would be my second time losing a child. I had been pregnant once before, 3 years ago. However, Nick was still at war, conquering the Southern Pax. He said that my pregnancy would interfere with his grand ambitions since he could not divide his attention to care for me. So, he had asked me to abort the child. He had assured me, "Don't worry, we're young and healthy. We can always have another baby later." I told him that werewolves were not supposed to terminate their pregnancies and that the moon goddess would punish us. Yet, he was unfazed. He simply replied, "I don't care about the moon goddess. I'm the alpha, and if I say get rid of it, you get rid of it." After seeing that I went through with the abortion, he abandoned me to continue fighting in the Southern Territory, pursuing his goals. I was left to recover from the abortion alone, with nothing but my own tears to keep me company. Even then, I made excuses for him. He was an alpha with responsibilities, and I told myself I needed to be more understanding. It was not until I witnessed him proposing to Sherry at the hospital that I understood the truth. It was not that he could not sacrifice his ambitions for a child. He just did not want to sacrifice them for our child. As Nick carefully helped Sherry walk to the hospital courtyard, she said, "Nick, I'll agree to marry you, but I want Flora as my bridal attendant, what humans call a bridesmaid. If you don't agree, I won't go through with the wedding." Nick was an alpha, and I was curious whether he would actually allow such an absurd arrangement at his wedding. Nick frowned. "If you don't marry me, who else would you marry? You belong to me. Sherry, you're my Luna. Yes, you're the alpha, and I can't escape that." if you won't let Flora be my bridesmaid, I'll just have to be secretly unhappy. Sherry pouted. He conceded. Well, it seems that to keep you happy, I have no choice but to agree. Now, will you marry me? We should surprise Flora. Let's keep it a secret until the wedding day. You know how temperamental she is, and if we accidentally offend her, she might refuse, and then I'd have no attendant. Sherry suggested. Don't worry, she owes me her life, and I spent 10 years with her. She has no reason to refuse. Besides, being the Luna's attendant would be the greatest honor for someone like her, Nick assured her. Then, he pulled Sherry into his arms and kissed her again, long, deep, and full of passion. This time, not only did my belly hurt, but my heart felt like it was being stabbed. I staggered forward with my last bit of strength. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone and called my brother, Francis Haywood, the alpha of the Blue Moon Pack. I whispered weakly, Francis, come get me. I want to go home.